Joe, happy birthday, first of all.
Well, when I first heard about it, I thought it was Shohei's idea.
What's the best way to use him?
I would bet as a starter, I would.
皆さん、こんにちは。こんばんは。MLB 翻訳忍者です。本日は2024年2月8日に米国で放送された大谷翔平に関するニュースをご紹介します。ロサンゼルスエンゼルスの元監督、ジョー・マドンが米国番組MLB ネットワークに出演時はご自身の70歳の誕生日でしたが、元気な様子でインタビューに答えていました。インタビューではドジャースのオフシーズンの動向や大谷の投手としての起用法などを言及。
後払いのニュースを聞いたとき、絶対に翔平のアイデアだと思ったよ
と元監督ならではの見解を述べていました。また大谷が投手として復活した際の起用法についてもコメントされていました。それではマドン元監督のインタビューを日本語字幕付きでご覧ください。
Well, Joe Madden is celebrating his birthday in Clearwater, Florida, and here's why. It's the annual Thanksmas meal at the Homeless Empowerment Program in Clearwater. Homeless Empowerment Program, or HEP, it serves the Tampa Bay area. They have a large facility offering emergency, transitional, permanent housing to the temporarily homeless, mentally disabled individuals, and more. You can see where you can help right there, hepempowers.org, if you'd like to help out. Joe, we're going to talk about this a little more with Joe Madden, who joins us now in an apron. He's been cooking down there. Joe, you got the apron on. Joe, happy birthday, first of all. Great to have you back on, and happy birthday to you.
Good to see BK. 70 is the new 50, and don't you forget that.
Nice. Oh, good. I'm going to use that soon. Before we get into that, we'll talk about what you're doing in Clearwater. Let's talk a little baseball first. At the top of the show, Joe, we were talking about the Dodgers. Give me your overall impressions. Again, it was a huge spending spree that they went on, specific on certain players, mostly from Japan, including a guy that played for you, Shohei Ohtani. Give me your overall thoughts on that incredible spending in the offseason.
Andrew. You know, Andrew had that all plotted out, I believe, well in advance. I think they did a great job with all of it, the way that a lot of the money is being deferred, et cetera. But it's kind of a powerhouse, right? And on paper, you think there's no way this team can possibly lose. I mean, they're the pictures of the players that they acquired, and you combine that with what they already have. I mean, that's the part about it that makes it so prodigious. I still believe it's not a lock. I still like the Diamondbacks a lot, what they did last year, and there's going to be other ascenders at this point. But that looked like an overarching plan that's been developed for over a period of time. My buddy Andrew spearheads all of that. So, yeah, they're going to be tough to beat next year.
It is. I'm still trying to make sense of the contract, right, in that the enormous amount deferred. What did you think of that?
Well, when I first heard about it, I thought it was Shohei's idea. I did. I mean, I didn't know that. I thought he wants to be on a team that's going to win, correct? And so I want to go with the Dodgers. But I know if they have to pay me this amount of money, then they're not going to be able to afford the other people necessary to help us win this year. Again, I don't know this for a fact, but I thought that in the beginning. He wanted the Dodgers to be able to build around him. And if he got all that dough, it wasn't going to happen. So I think that was a big part of it. You might get a chance to ask him that personally, but that's what I think happened, and that's why they were able to build this group, this mega group around him, because of Shohei understanding exactly what was going on.
Joe, you were the first guy to manage him in the States. Mike Scioscia was first, but you did manage him in the States. When he does come back to pitch, what's the best way to use him?
I would bet as a starter. I wouldn't see it any other way. I mean, I've heard the relieving component. I would say as a starter. The part that's going to be difficult is fitting him in with a regular five-man rotation, which I think they're going to want to do. But you're going to have to be very careful with that. I think it's going to be a slow process, and spring training is going to be very important to him also. But it's going to be as a starter. I would not mess with the bullpen. I would not mess with warming up and trying to figure out when the right time is to do that, how many pitches he should be able to throw or not. Starting pitcher, build it in slowly. I know that they'll be able to figure something out to do that. And eventually, when they get to a number that's comfortable to everybody, they're just going to let them go for a bit. But there will be a cap. Dollars to donuts, there's going to be a cap on that first year back regarding number of pitches and or innings thrown.
Right. What's the optimum? Like, again, we've seen, like, no matter how you slice it, it looks like he's doing 120, 130 innings. That's the way it's been working out. If you could design it like, hey, he's healthy, he's back, what's the best way to use him as a starter while he's hitting?
Okay, I would not. I would bet again that they might hold back the beginning of the year to keep those innings to the latter part of the season for the playoff potential. So you might see him again just hit primarily in the beginning of that season, maybe his typical workouts in the bullpens, and they'll figure out working the schedule backwards. And they'll go right to the last game of the World Series back, and then try to figure out. I would say 100 to 120 innings max would probably be the number. But they'll do that, and they'll try to utilize as much as they possibly can out of him on the mound, and I think it'll be a backward approach.
いかがだったでしょうか。まだまだ元気なおじいちゃんといった雰囲気でしたね。ワールドシリーズから逆算して先発登板させるという考えも選手層の厚いドジャースならではのアイデアでした。本チャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーに関する現地ニュースを日本語字幕付きでお送りしています。よければチャンネル登録、高評価をよろしくお願いします。また次回の動画でお会いしましょう。